I think the Lord's Prayer for me is one of those key scriptures because it kind of gives you almost like the order of priority towards an effective prayer life. Because you have, Jesus, speaking to the disciples, but also what prompts the need to ask him, like, teach us how to pray, is they see how effective Jesus is in how he moves and what he does. And so they're trying to understand, like, how do we move like this? Yes. And he now gives them the Lord's Prayer.
We give Jesus praise.
Welcome to my channel, and as you watch me, be blessed.
And so for me, I think even just starting with the first two words, right? Our Father in heaven, hallowed be thy name. That has been my anchor because almost like the foundation of knowing God as Father, it's what brings you into an effective prayer life, right? Not seeing him as ruler and he is the ruler, but what I mean is like not seeing him as like this tyrant, right? Not ruler in that sense, right? Not seeing him as this evil person, but Father, right? Because a father protects, a father gives, a father strengthens. And so when you're coming into his presence as Father, it is the foundation for effective prayer. Lord, I love you. Lord, I recognize we have a relationship. This is about intimacy. And then hallowed be thy name. It's like, now, because you see him as Father, do not take him lightly. You still have to have reverence for him, right? So yes, he is Father, but that comes with reverence. And so for me, it has shown the order of priority when I come into the presence of God and what it looks like to have an effective prayer.
It's important not just to recite the Lord's Prayer, because remember, this is the template that Jesus gave to the disciples after they asked Jesus, teach us how to pray in Luke 11. And this is because they saw his life. They saw the power and authority that he walked by, and they wanted to know, okay, how do I do what you are doing? How do I live as you are living? And for Jesus, the key ingredient was prayer. And so when the disciples asked him, teach us how to pray, this was the template. And before he taught them what to pray, he taught them how to pray, which was not just to recite and babble or make a spectacle of yourself, but to really authentically go before God and present yourself to the presence of the Lord and pray in this template, saying first, Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be your name, thy kingdom come, thy will be done. All of this is not just something that we recite, but something that we commit with our hearts before him in authenticity.
It's almost like there's this kind of framework, blueprint that he gives. And if you break it down, our Father who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name, thy kingdom come, thy will be done. It's like those first 3 points are kind of pointed toward the Father. He's showing us, I want to commune with you. I'm close with you. I'm holy. They're pointed that way. And then the last 3 kind of, give us this day our daily bread, forgive our debts and, our sins as we forgive others. And then, lead us not into temptation. All of that is his way of saying, okay, you're going to come in reference to me. You're going to understand me. And then we're going to deal with your heart. We're going to deal with the needs that you have. And it just, for me, it's one of those ways that it's like, okay, when I pray, it's like this blueprint. Father, I'm going to come to you and I'm going to honor and glorify you first. I'm going to give you all the praise and all the glory. Let's focus on you. And then as a sweet father would, okay, let's talk about your needs. What bread do you need today? Where are you struggling with temptation? It's this really sweet way that he leads you through that prayer to deal with our vertical relationship and our horizontal relationships,
Yeah. Well, it always slows me down as a framework for me. And it was, okay, I got to get through all this. I want to talk about my daily bread and I want to talk about
That's exactly
And
right.
The truth is, I don't even want to talk about my daily bread. I want to talk about my bread with butter and jam. You know what I'm saying? It's the stuff that I want.
Totally.
But it kind of would make me feel like, okay, I got to check these boxes first. Partially as a reminder that focusing on the Lord and on his person and on his kingdom was more important, but also partially to remind me that it's not about me. So whatever would drive me to prayer initially, because I think we are trained to understand that it's about his kingdom first. But many times people are thinking about prayer for what I need from God.
Right.
I'm going because I'm in pain. I need deliverance. I need a miracle. I need his provision. I have a desire of my heart. But we are reminded with the Lord's Prayer to focus on what he's doing first. And then our desires, Psalm 37:4 talks about that when we delight in the Lord, then he gives us the desires of our heart. That's the primary thing for me, is just reminding myself that my desires come second to his glory.
Jesus is going to a lot of efforts to tell us how he wants us to live. And then Matthew 6, he tells us how he wants us to pray. And I infer from this that he's saying, I'm giving you a lot of what to do in life, but you're not going to be able to do any of it if you are not dependent on me. So I'm going to give you a prayer to pray that will tune your heart to dependency on me. You're going to want to believe for great things in life. And I think that's great to believe for big things. But I want to position your heart through this prayer in the middle of all of these things I'm telling you about. I want to tell you how you need to be dependent on me. It's my will that I want you to do. It's my bread that I will give to you. It's me that will forgive you of your debts. And then I'm going to encourage you to forgive your debtors. See, this is all Jesus telling us that God the Father wants us completely dependent on him, because there's going to be so many ways to understand how to live, and they're going to be hard to do. You're not going to be able to do any of these if your full dependence, surrender of your life is in Jesus Christ and his Father.
Well, and I think in all of that Jesus is telling his disciples, even before he's died and gone to heaven, he said, this is the way you're supposed to pray, our Father. And he joins us with him. And this is how we can address God, the ruler of all the universe, right? And then hallowed be thy name. I find that when I go to prayer, that when you focus first on who God is and how holy he is, he already knows what I need without asking. But all of a sudden you kind of forget when you start worshiping him. I mean, that was a 3-second prayer, or a 10-second prayer. But when you start really honing in on God being in control, God, my Father who knows me, who loves me, who wants to give me good things, and hallowed be thy name. And that just kind of brings you into worship. And then a lot of times I find that I forget about what I need because God is in control and God gives us what we need. And all of a sudden, a lot of times my worries go away and I forget what I needed in the first place when you just come in to worship him.
Thank you for watching this video till the end. And as I have said before, we post gospel messages and moral teachings that will uplift your spirit and help you grow in faith. And remember, no matter what challenges you face, God has a plan for you. And if you find this video helpful, make sure to leave a like, comment, subscribe, and turn on your notification button so you don't miss out on any of my videos. Bye! See you in my next one.